We're going to gavel the Smart Board of Directors meeting to order here at 2 o'clock. If you could please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Ms. Martin, I believe we're going to do roll call.
Chairman John Paul Rea.
Here.
Vice Chairperson, Mr. Eli Cooper.
Present.
Ms. Sheila Cote.
Present.
Dr. Curtis Ivory.
Present.
Mr. Royce Manico.
Here.
Ms. Diana McBroom.
Here.
Mr. Assad Kirky is excused absent.
On his way over, actually.
All righty.
My apologies, he should be with us shortly.
Got that long commute from Wayne County. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Anywho, thank you, Ms. Martin, for that. And we have quorum. Next, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll so move, Mr.
Been
Chairman.
moved,
Support.
supported. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Ms. Martin, if you please would facilitate the certification of public notice.
Smart will hold its Board of Directors meeting on Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 2 p.m. at the Beal Building located at 535 Griswold Street, Suite 600, Detroit, Michigan 48226. The agenda can be found on Smart's website. To attend virtually on smartphone, tablet, or computer, please enter the URL in the web browser. You can participate by Zoom, by the phone, web, or you can also call in. Requests for reasonable accommodations at Smart require advance reservations. Public comments will proceed as follows. All comments, three-minute limit per member of the public. Public comments will be received in the following order. 1, members of the public who attend in person. 2, members of the public present via Zoom. 3, written comments via email. This meeting is open to the public.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Appreciate that. Next, we're going to move on to item 6A, approval of the board meeting minutes dated December 4th, 2025. Chair would entertain motion to approve.
So move.
Been moved, supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Abstention, I was not present.
Noted abstention was not present for Mr. Cooper. Next, we are going to move on to item number 7, public participation. As always, we are appreciative of everyone that braves the elements to come address the board. Please be mindful of the 3-minute time limit. And if I have to gavel, I will do my best to not interrupt or seem rude. Brother Cunningham, how are we doing this morning, sir? Or afternoon?
Good afternoon. 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114. That number was made so you can remember it. I want to thank those that, I don't know, I go to the city council meetings, the GDOT meetings, and I get texts. I don't know where they're coming from, but my birthday is Monday. Folks have been really, really kind about that. Getting old. But a few thoughts I had. I was hoping that the fast bus can either go later or 24 hours if the 3 fast buses that are active now. I want to thank Smart for thinking of putting more Wi-Fi everywhere, because a lot of folks don't have a phone. I mean, they have a phone, it's not on, and they can get the calling app, and it's a blessing to them, and they can still make phone calls. Also, is there a way that we can get more charging ports at the stations and on the buses, even if they're older buses, find a way to put them on there and get a sponsor to do so. Like at Hargrove, right where the Smart buses come in, maybe a tower right there, a little tower to charge up their phone while they're waiting. They can look and watch their phone. And the same thing at Rosa Park, where the majority of the Smart buses come. That's the same thing. I was unhoused for 10 years. I've been through a lot, have a lot of lived experience. And I think that'll be a blessing. Whatever you've done on the least of these, you've done unto me. Everybody knows that there is a big meeting next week, the state of transit. And Miss Megan just came in with her kind self, and it's going to be wonderful as always. And I hope to see everyone there, because I will be present. Y'all should really have a timer up. I don't see anything. I'm just going for. But yeah, that I have other thoughts Thank you, Miss Tiffany. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you and be safe.
Thanks as
Peace.
always, Brother Cunningham. Appreciate it. Any other members of the public present here in the room today looking to address the board? We will go once, twice, 3 times for those present here. Tiffany, anyone online looking to address the board?
Yes, Chairman Rea, we have one participant on Zoom. Oh,
Okay.
3 now.
If our sports staff could please provide me a name and we'll start off there. And just as a reminder for everyone online, we do have the 3-minute time limit. Robert, how we doing, sir?
Doing great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, smart staff and the board. Happy New Year. I'll keep my comments brief just because I know there's not really much going on in January, but for the record, Robert Plowski, Southgate, Wayne County, longtime bus rider, transit advocate, and also at-large member for the Smart Advisory Council. I just want to welcome everyone, welcome New Year, and Happy New Year to most of you that do celebrate New Year's. We got a lot of upcoming projects this year, and there's a lot of progress that was made in 2025. With a lot of the recent elections and the local level, I hope SMART can continue the engagement with their elected officials, their partners in the state legislature, so our funding that continues to keep service growing can be able to thrive more, and we can get more each year for more capital projects, including at the state and federal level. So keep up the good work. We got a lot of service expansions, a lot of upcoming millages, shouting out Wayne County over there in one of the board seats. But it's going to be a big year. So keep our heads high, keep on fighting smart. We need public transit here in Metro Detroit, and we're just around that curve once and for all. So thank you and Happy New Year.
Robert, thank you as always. Appreciate it. Next person online, please. What was the name again? Christian. Christian, if you're there, if you could please unmute. Christian Z.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
We've got you now, Christian.
Great. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Christian Zackham. I'm a resident of Oakland County, and I work in the renewable fuels industry, specializing in gaseous fuels. I just wanted to ask if SMART has ever considered utilizing compressed natural gas as a fuel for fixed route fleets.
So Christian, it is not protocol for the board to answer any questions that come up in public comment, but we will have appropriate staff reach out afterwards.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Appreciate it.
Christian, could you please leave your phone number and address in the Zoom box, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. And I believe we have one more individual online that has raised their hand to address the board today. Nikki, I believe, is online looking to address the board. Nikki, if you're please there.
I'm sorry. This isn't a good time for me. I'm trapped in the snow outside, and I need to deal with that right now.
Okay, Nikki, best of luck traversing the conditions right now. But as always, if you need anything, we always have the ability to engage our customer service team or our community outreach team on that side. So Lucas, I believe you're there today too.
Hi there, Mr. Chair. Can I be heard?
Absolutely, Lucas. How are we doing today?
Rather cold. I'm on my way to a bus right now, and it's windy as all hell out here, but making it through it. And the reason that's happened is because, I got my first car a little over a year ago, which allowed me to rely less on SMART and on public transit, which gave me a lot more flexibility to go where I needed to go when that SMART, frankly, isn't really well positioned to provide right now. But this December, I actually got into a crash, which thankfully no one was injured, but my car's been in the shop for about the past 3 weeks, and I've had to rely exclusively on SMART again. And I wanted to share with the board some of my recent experiences, which were quite frustrating. Now, you've probably heard from us a lot that SMART is dealing with a lot of struggles in on-time performance, and to the credit of the operations and planning staff, I think that is actually getting a lot better. I expect you'll see a pretty major increase in that metric with the the recent changes to the fast woodward that were implemented this run pick. But it's still not where it needs to be, and a lot of that is because bus drivers are still routinely overstaying their brakes. And in the first week that I was riding Smart this year, that happened to me at least 3 times, where a bus overstayed their brake, left late, stayed late for the duration of the run, and as a result, I very narrowly made transfers that I should have had a wide range of time to make. Excuse me, it's kind of hard to keep my breath in this winter weather. On one occasion, I was trying to get from a very late bus to an on-time bus, and I only made the transfer because the on-time bus was made late by an accident blocking the road. If it had been on time, I would have been stranded with no way to get home that night. On another occasion, a couple of days later, I only made the transfer because I was able to run 1/8 of a mile in less than 30 seconds. If I had been disabled or didn't have the stamina to run that fast at that time of night, I would have had no way to get home by Smart. I would have had to either call an Uber or hope to God that a friend could give me a ride home. And had that happened in temperatures like these, I could have caught frostbite before a vehicle even got there and picked me up. I believe staff is aware of this issue. I've been in conversation with a few members of staff, and I filed customer support tickets detailing some of these experiences. I just wanted to bring this to the board's attention that this is a recurring issue, and that's contributing to a lot of Smart's operational challenges and poor statistics lately. That's all I've got for you. Please stay warm, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you as always, Lucas. Appreciate it. Any other members of the public looking to address the board via the online link? Going once, twice, and 3 times. Tiffany, any correspondence received for the board?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, we don't have any.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tiffany. And without any objections from the board, then we will close public participation. We will move on to item number 8, and I want to sincerely apologize to everyone because I do have a few things to say today, which is never good. First and foremost, a tremendous amount of thanks to the entire Smart leadership and administrative team that came out to the east side on Tuesday with the stewardship of our fellow board member Sheila Cote and Tiffany Harmony and the rest of the leadership team, including Ryan. We had as successful as a community providers meeting as we've had on the east side in quite some time. Had representation from our Board of Commissioners, also a number of elected officials across the county, talking about the future of mobility in Macomb County and really understanding how we can prioritize funding in strategic areas that will meet emerging mobility needs across the county. Was absolutely thrilled with the spectrum of opinions from our core urban areas to a number of our rural townships. And sincerely, from the bottom of my heart and also from Sheila's, we cannot thank the staff enough for how productive the conversation was. And I think most importantly, how engaged all of our elected officials were as we continue to look at ways that not only in which we can modernize some of the elements of the Macomb County transportation millage to be aligned with some of the aspirational things that Oakland County has done, but most importantly, to sequence into some of the connectivity and some of the robust service offerings that Wayne County is discussing right now. I think it was a good step for mobility on the east side, and we're very much looking forward to how that conversation continues day in, day out, not only as our board looks at a multitude of options to continue their commitment to funding transportation and transit options in Southeast Michigan and Macomb County, but I think most importantly to ensure that we're keeping par with our friends around the region on that end. Another item of business for the board. I have been working very closely with our CEO, Tiffany Gunter, on the concept of bringing back the whole notion of the board retreat. I know that has been a topic of conversation with a number of our communities, and I think is very much going to align the board's priorities and the way in which we want to ensure that we're empowering the organization to meet all the aspirational elements of whether it's our smart mobility strategy or some of the strategic community outreach that we are doing, and even begin to put a number of benchmarks on there that whether it be the performance and the reliability elements that we're looking at, and even some of the modernizations that we're making day in, day out with administration, finance, and community outreach and engagement. As I've been working with Tiffany, we're really looking at the springtime to kind of coalescing this forum where we as a board can come together and put down some of those strategic benchmarks so that we're continually providing these boards as a feedback loop to the community and to all the populations that we serve. But I think more importantly, figure out how we get a little bit more influence, and not only with the conversations that we're having in Lansing, and with the prominence that we've even been able to leverage with Tiffany's presence in a number of arenas at the national and federal level, which has been great from us, that whether it's with our member organizations or even trying to follow the bouncing ball of where other federal funding is going to be today, tomorrow, or 2 weeks into the future. I think one of the key elements that Tiffany is wrapping up is facilitator, as we're really trying to figure out who are the most strategic voices that we can bring into that conversation. But I think most importantly, so we as a board would really have an opportunity to not just have it be a box that we check, but truly have it be a barometer as far as how we're going to use this forum here to really empower the day in, day out impact as we're having not only with the services that we provide, but with the professionals that we work with day in, day out there. So, good things to report on my end. And with that, I will yield the remainder of my time to Ms. Gunter, who's going to give everyone an update from the general manager and CEO. Tiffany, how are we doing?
Doing great. Am I on here? Yes, I am. Good afternoon, everyone. And I have a couple of things that I want to share. I'm going to start with the heavier things and then move into the lighter space. I just want to acknowledge that the month of December for this organization was an unusual one for us and a very difficult one. We lost 3 operators who passed away during the month of December. Each of them had been with SMART for some time. Jakiba Hodges had been with us for 25 years. We had just awarded him when we were at SEMCOG his 25-year certificate. Very unexpected, very hard loss, along with William Lewis, who had been with us for 28 years. Again, very unexpected. Willard Moss as well was with us for 14 years. And what we did, and why I'm bringing this up, is that for a long time, SMART got away from something that I believe was very important, and that is we show up for our employees. For each of those services, we encouraged the teams that work with them where they were able to participate in their homegoing services, and we brought back the resolution of respect for their service to SMART. We know this job is not an easy one, and I had the opportunity and the privilege to represent this organization on behalf of this the staff and read those resolutions. We also brought a fixed route bus that had the name of the deceased tickered on the front of it. And when I say, as you watch the families walk up to the funeral homes and see that, the amount of pride they felt for their loved ones was palpable. You understood it, you felt it, and in each eulogy, there were a number of stories because sometimes you forget just how creative some of our passengers can be at times. And those stories had been shared with their families and shared in those eulogies. And so it was very heartwarming to see that, and our staff is still healing. As a result, what we have put together and will be doing for the month of February, which we all know is Heart Month, is every Thursday at each terminal, we will have those wellness vehicles pull up so that our operators do not have to struggle with trying to make doctor's appointments and keep them. The doctors will come to them. We are encouraging each and every one of our employees, even the ones downtown, to go to each of the terminals on those Thursdays and get their numbers checked out, understand where they are. It's confidential. It's something that, same that you would do in a doctor's office. We're encouraging them to go do that in those mobile health vans. And I just want to thank Keisha McKinney and Beth and the team for getting that put together so quickly. We want to make sure that we're safe in our operations, that our operators, our mechanics, and our admins know where they are. And as much as we were able to show up, I don't want to have to continue to do it. So with that, I'll move into some of the other items that we have to share today. Very great news to report. One is we wanted to recognize, she's not here with us today, the retirement of Ms. Deshalon Brownlee, our former VP of bus operations. She took her retirement and December 31st went on to greater rest and wonderful things. We're so happy for her, and we just want to congratulate her. And following that, we made an appointment, interim vice president of bus operations. I'll ask her to stand. Ms. Jacqueline Owens was formerly, get you as well, ma'am. She's working hard. So formerly the AVP of bus operations at the Macomb terminal. Jackie has been with us how many years, Jackie? 28 years, has a great understanding, has synced up with our CIO, Cassandra Whitfield, and they have one mission, and that is on-time performance. We understand it. We know that there is a standard that needs to be met, and we are doggedly determined and are having weekly meetings with everyone who touches on-time performance until we get to the bottom of it with the root cause analysis and implementation. As part of that, the things that we've discovered thus far, we recognize a lot of it requires retraining of our bus operators. There are some policies and procedures that we need to make sure that we are enforcing that I believe fundamentally will get us back to where we need to be once we begin the implementation of those, and we are not dragging our feet. We are moving on that now. The second person I want to introduce is new to SMART, is Tracy Davis. I saw you earlier. I know you're out there somewhere. If you could please stand so we can recognize you. Tracy comes to us from Flint. Tracy is a new position. She's the vice president of microtransit. So as you all know, Daniel Whitehouse, Danny, basically was the incubator. Him and Jim Henderson have been working in microtransit as it's been a pilot. Now, as we look to expand microtransit, Tracy was able to do this in Flint successfully. She joined the team, I think it was January 5th or 6th, and has hit the ground running. Her and Danny are working hand in hand to make sure that the transition is seamless. And as we look to work with our community partners to expand this program, we are excited about Tracy's work in this area and what she's going to do for us here. Moving on from there, we are, as you alluded to earlier, Mr. Chair, everywhere. And a couple of things I just wanted to highlight. We worked with the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network to do a podcast that will air on February 5th, I believe recorded on January 8th, with former Chief James White, now the CEO of DWIN, to talk about the mental health concerns and how we address them as it relates to mobility and public transit and the work that they're doing and how we can work together. I think it's a great and electrifying conversation. So I'm excited to see that when it comes out on February 5th. I believe it was last week. Was it last week? January 14th was last week. We were on the a panel for the Detroit Auto Show talking about mobility, the first of its kind for the auto show. It was a wonderful conversation about the intersection of mobility and manufacturing. As we have talked about here, probably not enough. We only have 2 bus manufacturers. And as we're looking to improve and enhance our services, the lead time for a bus is somewhere from 18 to 36 months, which makes it very difficult for us to be flexible. And having this conversation and beginning those discussions is a game changer for this region from an economic driver perspective and opportunity perspective. Next week, I'll be on a panel for the Detroit Policy Conference on January 29th, very early in the morning. Thank you, Bernard. Having another conversation about mobility in the region. And then tomorrow, we'll be at SEMCOG Executive Committee on a panel with our other transit executives to have a conversation about mobility with them as well. And then I think Brother Cunningham said it perfect. We'll be at the State of Transit for True on January 27th as well. So we are having this conversation about mobility, and we are making some major strides in public perception. I know that's one of the things we talked about early on when we began this journey together, and that is public transportation is not something to, look at as a last resort. It's a real viable option. And if we're doing the work to get on time, these conversations are going to prove very beneficial as people try the system out. So with that, I believe I've knocked out all my pieces. So I get to the fun part now. And that is I'm going to invite Ms. Amy O'Leary, the Executive Director of SEMCOG, the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, to come up and provide us with some money. Welcome, Amy.
Amy, did you bring a big check or something?
I literally, a big one.
Hey, look at that. We'll take 2.
I can always count on you for wanting a little.
There you go. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate the time today and being here. I want to start by thanking SMART for your partnership with SEMCOG and all of you, specifically Chairperson Ria.
JP's fine.
course.
Friends here.
I know. And Tiffany and Harmony, your partnership means the world to SEMCOG. I would have to say, since Tiffany has taken over, there is more optimism than I have seen in 30 years of working at SEMCOG, 32 years actually of working at SEMCOG when it comes to transit in this region. So I want to capitalize on that optimism. And I say that to Tiffany. I think the messages that she shares on these various platforms are things that need to be said. So I appreciate that. So, but today we're here about something else. I do want to mention you talked a little bit nationally about the work that you do. We are the Metropolitan Planning Organization for Southeast Michigan, or the MPO. And as such, we have a lot of interest in federal funding, as does SMART. So I know Tiffany and you all are very involved. So are we. I'm on the board of the National Association of MPOs. So the more that we at the national level work together, we hear the voices of Southeast Michigan on roads, on transit, anything mobility. I think that's important. So it's great we can continue to work together. So as most of you know, SEMCOG is a council of government. So we're the MPO. We also have 186 local governments that are members of our organization. One of the core functions we have as the MPO is to facilitate the transportation program for the region. So that's a $3 billion transportation improvement program. And one of the programs under that is called the Transportation Alternatives Program. And that's what I'm here today. One of the things we do is that we think that we administer this TAP program. It's important funding program for making connections in our communities. It could be constructing trails, working on streetscapes, sidewalks, but it also can be transit. And that's why we're here today. It should be noted that this is an essential federal program, and it came out of the Infrastructure and Investment and Jobs Act, the bipartisan infrastructure law, and it really is making a huge difference in our region. Over the past 17 years, we've invested $120 million through this program for 185 projects. We wouldn't be here without the support of our federal partners, and honestly, that's one of the reasons we do this. We think it's important to celebrate, but also to celebrate with our federal partners, and we wouldn't be here if we didn't have the support from our congressional representatives, and in SMART, you have a lot of them: Lisa McLean, Haley Stevens, Debbie Dingle, Rashida Tlaib, John James, Shri Thanadar. All of them are very supportive of transportation and the reauthorization of this program. But I also want to thank Senator Slotkins and Peters. They have always been very supportive of transportation and mobility in this region. So today we're here to celebrate the TAP award to SMART by SEMCOG's Regional Review Committee. The Regional Review Committee is all elected officials, and those elected officials decided that a portion of our funds should go towards transit at this time. So this project is exciting to us. We think it's really going to make a substantial impact. I saw what you all did cutting a ribbon on a bus station not that long ago. And actually, that's one of the reasons it gave us the idea to really do a call for projects for transit, because we liked what you're doing and we wanted to see more of that. And we wanted to be a part of it. So it's really my pleasure on behalf of the board to be able to present the $1 million to do bus infrastructure. So. All right.
I know, see, all of it came out today.
Do we have enough?
I think we do. We got tons of room. Let's make this work.
All right.
Come on over, Phil. We'll make this work. Moms are too. Jeez, all day. They got in there. No worries. We got kind of right over.
Let's place this by.
Go on
I
up.
know. Start equaling outcomes. Yeah.
We got room. Make it work. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Geez, Amy writes a check. Everyone shows up, man.
Right. All right, I'm gonna send this.
Yeah, perfect.
They take care of it.
Excellent. And thank you to all of the support staff that has showed up today through all of our congressional representatives. It is, as Amy highlighted, I think a tremendous testament to how all of our federal reps are not only engaged in the mobility conversation, but are trying to empower our MPO in ways which we can work with institutions such as SMART, DDOT, and the rest of the transit agencies across Southeast Michigan. Amy, as a colleague and a friend, cannot thank you enough for your continued advocacy and leadership throughout Southeast Michigan and that side. And anytime you got any more big checks laying around, you know where to find us. Excellent. Yeah, that too. Yeah, just add a zero at the end.
I might be speechless. I'm all done.
Yep.
That concludes my report. Mr.
Excellent. Any questions, comments, inquiries from members of the board for the general manager's report? Seeing none, we will move, oh, Dr. Ivory, sorry, sir.
Just, how do we, in terms of budget, how do we compare, with, cities like Cleveland and Houston? Just curious.
That's a fun question. Our funding model is fundamentally different.
Yep.
So when you talk about comparisons, they're sales tax based, local option sales tax based, and their budgets are allowing for greater expansion more rapidly than what we can hope for when
So you
we.
want more money?
I would love more money, absolutely, but I also am a realist. And right now, the funding model that we have can absolutely help us to expand and continue to improve over the next couple of years. I did not say this in my report, but we are going to be meeting with the Wayne County contingent, just like we did with Macomb County, to talk about the possibility for expansion as we're looking to go all in for the county. And we can make what we have work. It would be wonderful to look at other funding alternatives in the future, but for now, that is our focus. And I know that we can grow and give great service delivery and have a great model with what we have today.
Any other comments from members of the board? Nope. Seeing none, chair would entertain a motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Any opposed? Oh, excuse me. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next, Ryan, I think we're going to talk about some dollars and cents. What's happening with the money? Ryan's coming up for our financial report.
Hello, can you hear me? There we go. All right. I would like to reiterate, yes, we can always use more money. So, yeah, any more big checks, send them this way. So what we are presenting today is the September 30th, 2025, so Q1 financial report. I'd like to kind of just touch on a few items and then I'll open things up for questions. Overall, Smart's net position remains stable. Not a whole lot of change in our financial position or on the balance sheet. We continue to be able to make meet our current obligations as well as our long-term obligations. Moving on to the income statement. Smart is a little under budget with regard to both revenues and expenditures, largely as a result of just the timing of some of the rollouts of projects. I do want to report that as of today, we're very much fully staffed and very much running all of the service that was budgeted during the year. Overall, Smart's net position did decrease about $1.7 million over the quarter. We do use this report and the results of operations as a basis for a draw that we do from the federal government to help us with preventative maintenance. So largely that deficit will be covered by those funds when we drew them in the second quarter. So you will see we will be at about budget as we move forward throughout the year. You will notice that we are a little bit over budget with regard to our fixed route operations. This is largely a result of staffing. We have not seen the attrition that we had in the past, which is a great thing. We've been able to run, we have not had the driver shortage that we have in the past. You should not expect this number to grow at all as we have adjusted the size of the classes as we onboard new individuals to kind of meet the new attrition that we're seeing throughout the year. So that number is not expected to expand. You don't multiply that by 4 to get to where we're at by the end of the year. Other than that, it's been a pretty good stable quarter for Smart. And any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer.
Ryan, as always, appreciate the update on the financial side. Any questions from members of the board? Royce.
Mr. Chairman, maybe at next month's meeting, we might have an update on the federal funding, particularly whether or not what's happening, and maybe staff could talk to our lobbyists in Washington to figure out the timeframes. I know we're getting close to that magic date again of a government shutdown. But I'd like to know what's happening in transportation. I think it's called the THUD report. And that we would be able to get an update on that and see if there's going to be any significant reductions in capital or operating expenses, or what there might be a change in any of the GASB requirements, so that we can, as a board, kind of look at that and get a good feeling for what's going on. And from what I'm hearing in talking to other partners, the transportation side seems to be going well. So I'm hoping that that continues and that Congress will update us and pass that.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Really.
Absolutely.
Maybe Tiffany, that's something that you and Ryan can work on, maybe for the general manager. Next month. Yeah, I like that. Perfect. Excellent. Any other comments from members of the board? If not, Chair would entertain a motion to receive and file.
So moved. Second.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Alrighty, next we're gonna move on to new business, 11A, a resolution for authorization to increase funding for plumbing repair services. Luan, I believe, is up.
I know
Maybe.
he's in there.
Someone's
There
hiding.
he
There he
is.
is.
Hidden in the back.
Mr. Bird, you want me to handle this one? I got it.
I'm mopping up a spill or something.
Oh, really? All right.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone.
Ms. Bird, how we doing, sir?
Oh, just lovely, and yourself?
No complaints.
Yes. It's the recommendation that the board adopts an attached resolution for increased funding for plumbing services with Thomas Lane Plumbing by $5,000 for 1 year, $10,000 for each 2 and 3 years of the contract, and $10,000 for each 2 option year periods, for an updated total cost not to exceed $160,000 for the base 3 years of the contract, for a total not to exceed $275,000 for the 5 years. Any questions?
Any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved, supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Burt. Tiana, I believe, is up next for a ratification of a contract for employee dental benefits. Tiana, what's happening in HR today?
Hello, Mr. Chair and members of the board. It is the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution ratifying the award of a contract for employee benefits with Delta Dental of Michigan located in Farmington Hills, Michigan, in the amount of $1.8 million for the 3-year base period. SMART offers employee dental benefits as part of its compensation package plan for all employees. In accordance with the Public Act 106, SMART is required to go out and bid for certain employee benefits every 3 years. Macwin Vance obtained employee dental benefits quotes on SMART's behalf. The quotes were evaluated by Macwin Vance and SMART. The incumbent, Delta Dental, was found to be the most responsive and responsible. To ensure that there was no lapse in employee benefits, SMART contract with Delta Dental renewed on January 1st, 2026. I am available if you have any questions.
Tiana, as always, appreciate the update on this end, and undoubtedly a little bit more of a tumultuous market with regards to employee benefits, but appreciate your stewardship and guidance. Any comments from members of the board?
Yeah, a question.
Mr.
So
Murphy.
is this retroactive back to June?
It would be retroactive, I
Yeah.
believe.
What was the reason for the retroactiveness? For the delay?
It was timing on the RFP. Go ahead. The reason for the retroactive delay, what was the reason for it?
So it was timing in regards to our part. We did put out, Macwin Vance did put out a bid for us to get the quotes back. And once we received the quotes, we did move forward.
Do you not allow enough time, or was there not enough time allowed for that period?
There wasn't enough time.
Oh, no.
Absolutely, that was the case. The answer is yes, we answered it. If Laura, you want to add something to it, feel free.
Sure, I think part of this was the timing of the board meeting being in the beginning of December as opposed to the end of December. Part of it was in looking back through our files, this is explained in the agenda item, but we also use a separate broker for other insurances. And it's more business related insurances, so property insurance and felonious assault insurance. And we didn't realize at the time that the treatment of both were quite different, and Manquin Vance does not contract on our behalf for those items, but they consult with us. And it was an internal file interpretation issue as well as the timing of the board meeting.
Thank you.
Appreciate that as always, and thank you for the clarification on that end. Seeing no other conversations on this matter, Chair would entertain a motion to approve. Been moved,
Second.
supported. Mr. Manico.
There will be no change in benefits then for the employees?
No.
Okay, excellent. We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Tiana. Appreciate that. All righty, friends. Next, we will move on to item number 12. Any other board member business to discuss today? Mr. Manico.
We came to an agreement with Lake Erie Transit and their unions for the contract for the next 3 years. So I was glad to see that. As with any negotiations today, they're very difficult, and we were happy to see that. I shared that information a little bit with Tiffany, and we're going to be back on the road for 3 years, I guess.
Excellent. Any other comments from members of the board? Seeing none, now on to everyone's favorite item on the agenda, adjournment. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So Mr. Chairman.
Been moved, supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks for hanging out, friends.